Episode number 116 of the Cortex Labs Nootropics podcast. I am your host, Ryan Michael Balla. Going to talk about Bromantane today. We haven't really discussed this on the podcast. We launched a video of my official review of it. Took some time to actually get it out for reasons we explained in the video. So go YouTube that. YouTube search official Bromantane review by Cortex Labs Nootropics channel and watch it. But we're going to talk about a lot of the same stuff that we talked about there in this podcast. And then particularly, how to try to avoid not sleeping when you take Bromantane, because basically if you take the wrong dose for you, you won't sleep. So somebody asked that. I have been experimenting with it just to try to see. I wasn't initially going to do it, but I did. And I got some results for folks, so we're going to break all that down. In the meantime, thanks everybody that got product on Black Friday Cyber Week. We sold a lot of product. We had a lot of really, really great discounts. Everything's back to normal price. However, it's slightly lower than normal price. So the Cortex stack, our motivation, verbal fluency, powerful mental energy, productive drive, mood stack, Cortex, that's at $31, normally $33. And if you use the coupon code 5, F-I-V-E, it takes it down $5, so you can get it for $26 a bottle right now. That is cheap for what's being called the only pre-made stack that actually works. I mean, the stuff is powerful. You got to buy Cortex, livecortex.com. If you need my help personally on formulating stacks for you, we've got a bunch of options. I mean, we've got a 1-call package. It's a 40-minute call with me, 15 follow-up email correspondences where we give you 5 to 7 stacks that we think will work for you, work with you to refine them. That's around $60-$70. You can get that at livecortex.com. If you're an executive or a business person or a venture capitalist, somebody that just needs larger scale nootropics help to really amp up your performance because of your work demand, we've got executive nootropics consulting packages. One of them is 3.5 months where we formulate you custom stacks and ship them to you. You don't have to do anything. We ship you the stacks. That's $2,200 right now at livecortex.com. The other is a 6-month package where we do the same thing, unlimited calls, unlimited emails, working with you to get your brain straight, working with you to get great stacks. We formulate the stacks. We mail them to you. That is $4,800 for 6 months right now at livecortex.com. For those of you thinking about doing that, you got to just pull the trigger. Let's do it. We'll reach out for the first call. Get it started ASAP. I mean, you can't wait. You got to do it now. Last couple things, Smarter, Better, Faster Audio. Our audio book now, we created the audio version of it, which is Smarter, Better, Faster, a book that teaches you everything about nootropics, gives you many, many years of experience, just about a decade, gives you many stacks. I mean, it's a powerful product. We turn it into an audio book, video page turning, interactive audio book of Smarter, Better, Faster. Right now, $30 at livecortex.com. And then lastly, if you're a dude and you want to raise testosterone, I mean, I can't think of a better way to do it than the way that I figured out how to do it. I mean, there's a protocol for it. There's a lot of things you got to do. It's a little complex, but if you do them, you will raise test. And it's in a way that nothing else that I found can do. It's called the Viking Testosterone Protocol, and you get that at livecortex.com. All right, so sparing you the major scientific details on what Bromantane does, let's just put it that basically the precise molecular mechanism of action is mostly unknown. There's some upregulating the expression of tyrosine hydroxylase and a few other things. But basically what Bromantane is doing is it's enhancing dopamine synthesis in a major, major way. The elimination half-life, which is pretty important for folks to know, and that's kind of alongside the topic we're going to be talking about, which is it keeps you up at night if you're not careful, is about 11 hours. So, if you're taking it at 12 noon or something, it's going to be trying to exit, your blood right around 11 p.m. at night. And honestly, it just doesn't seem to work that way. I mean, it's sort of still in the picture at that point, and probably for most folks, depending on the dose, still going to be affecting you. So with Bromantane, the dose range is we're really talking about if you want to go super low and just start 5 milligrams up to about 100 milligrams. I really don't suggest a whole lot of people take 100 milligrams. I mean, there seems to be a small percentage of people that really taking 100 milligrams doesn't even do a whole lot for them. They can sleep fine and whatever. And probably because just, for some reason or another, their brain is not allowing the enhanced dopamine synthesis to happen, which is sometimes the case for certain people with certain nootropics, which is why they don't work. And that could have to do with your liver essentially not keeping the compound active in your blood long enough, filtering it out, getting rid of it. So very powerful compound, but for most folks, again, lower doses are key. I started out at, I think the first dose I took of it was it was like 5 or 10 milligrams, and it was like pretty okay, but I knew I could go higher. I jumped immediately up to 50 milligrams, just like, you know what, let me just experiment and see. I know this is high. I'd gotten some warnings from some people, like, look, take Bromantane in a dose that is too high for you and you're going to have some trouble sleeping. But I just sort of wanted to see. Sure enough, after 50 milligrams of Bromantane, I was hellishly motivated. I mean, God, I got a lot of work done that day. I was up very, very late working on stuff. I mean, I was so motivated to do work. I'm like, why can't I be like this every day? The effect was profound. I mean, it's a profound compound. Like, don't get me wrong. Nothing else in my nootropics history, now we're talking about just about 12 years, has come close to the effect of Bromantane. It's like the best, literally the best, very powerful. However, what happened that night is somewhere around 12, 1 o'clock after I worked basically all day with like pee breaks and that's it. I tried to go to sleep and I could not. So, I couldn't fall asleep. I wasn't really tired. It's like my body felt a little tired, but my brain just would not allow me to shut down. I wasn't sitting there like ruminating or thinking about a whole lot of things. It's just like at 2 o'clock after being in bed for an hour and a half or something, I'm like, this isn't going to work. I'm not going to sleep. So I got up and I started working, and I ended up working all night until the next day at about 9 a.m., at which point finally my body was completely exhausted and I had to go to sleep and I could. So I went to sleep, slept till late afternoon or something, got up, took a nootropic stack. It was like a racetam, some B vitamins, a lot of fish oil just to kind of get my brain back in, some caffeine, and that was relatively okay to function that day. Obviously not super optimal. So I decided to take the dose down to 30 milligrams. 30 milligrams gave me just about the same amount of motivation and power. Maybe it was a little less, but it was like fine, because that 50 milligram dose was like a little, it's just like, it should be illegal to feel that way, because you could crush everything. I mean, you can do whatever it is you need to do in pretty productive rapid fashion, but 30 milligrams was just fine. I was productive. I was very, very motivated, via this enhanced dopamine synthesis. And I just felt like I had an endless amount of brain energy. Like that reservoir of brain energy did not go away. It was amped up and amplified to begin with, and then it just didn't go away after that. It was very, very productive. I stopped working at about 1 a.m., I want to say, that night after 30 milligrams Bromantane, which I took at 11 a.m., earlier that day. So given the half-life, it should be sort of starting to get out of my system by 11, 12, midnight or something. And also given the dose, it actually did work that way, because the first time at 50 milligrams, it did not. I was up all night. I fell asleep at about 1:30 a.m. after working all day, after taking it at 11 a.m. or something, previous day. And I slept pretty okay. I don't want to say that I slept awesomely and woke up like I was super restored or anything, but I slept, and I woke up and I was like, all right, coffee and a nootropic stack and I'll be just fine. So I didn't lose sleep that night. So that's all that was basically the preface. I've gotten a lot of emails lately and some folks commenting on the YouTube channel where we talked about Bromantane, about how to avoid Bromantane keeping you up at night, because people are running into that same problem, because that's what it does. The answer to that question is, number one, you have to, first of all, get your dose right. Your dose has to be perfect on it. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. It's going to keep you up, and you'll be up, mostly all night, or just have a lot of trouble sleeping. So you have to get your dose right first. Secondly, if you cannot get your dose perfect, and you're at the point where you're still being affected by it, you've taken the dose down and it's still keeping you up at night, what I've been experimenting with, and I've taken the last 2 weeks, I think I've done it 4 or 5 times in the last 14-day period, is I've been experimenting with taking pretty high-dose racetam to try to curve that, to try to help me to sleep in those instances. So I actually went up to 40 milligrams Bromantane. It totally kept me up. And then I took 40 milligrams racetam, and I slept. It took about an hour and a half for everything to kind of kick in and settle, but I slept. I then bumped it up to 50 milligrams. Okay, let's really go and see what my initial dose was. Let's see if I can get racetam to help me sleep. I was super motivated throughout the day. Obviously, was up to about 1:30. But this time I was a little smarter. At midnight, I took my 40 milligrams racetam, and right around 1:30 started to get tired and everything started to wind down, and then I slept, and I slept pretty great, and I woke up the next day feeling good. So my answer, and at least my experimentation with taking the dose back up and seeing if I can actually fix that problem to help some of you that have been asking that question, my experience has been 40 milligrams fasiracetam pretty much does the trick. Now, I can't say that, those nights of sleep were like super awesome. Again, not waking up super restored, but when you get enough sleep to where you're like, okay, I can function throughout the day. I'm fine. I'll take a stack, drink some coffee or whatever, go to the gym, wake my brain up, and I'll be just fine. So whatever is happening in the interplay between dopamine synthesis and essentially GABA production and GABA signaling is helping. I mean, it's neurotransmitters sometimes work in a seesaw fashion, where if you're enhancing the synthesis of one neurotransmitter, it's sort of stopping the production or inhibiting the functioning of another neurotransmitter. So it could be the case that higher dose bromantane is just not allowing GABA to function correctly, thus not allowing you to sleep. But it might have a little bit to do with melatonin. I mean, the melatonin you make in your brain is like 0.3 milligrams every night. It might be messing with your sleep-wake cycle in that regard, which, could be why fasiracetam is working, especially relating to GABA, but nobody really knows. So if you're somebody that's experimenting with bromantane and it's making you stay up late and not be able to sleep despite you going lower on the dose, then try fasiracetam. Try 20 to 40 milligrams of fasiracetam and see how you fare. I think a lot of folks are going to get some relief from this sleep issue with bromantane. Not that, again, that's the strategy. Like, you should not be taking a dose of bromantane that keeps you up. You really want to find a lower dose. You want to try to do other things to allow it to affect you positively but not affect your sleep. But for those of you where that's impossible because you've worked your dose down considerably on bromantane, but it's still keeping you up at night, try fasiracetam, 20 to 40 milligrams. And I think for a lot of people, you're going to get some results. It took me some time to figure it out. I suggested it to a couple people, and we've been successful so far. So that's at the point at which I can actually start to talk about it with some data behind it, okay? So hope that helps. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. Remember, Cortex Stack, $31, livecortex.com. Cortex will not keep you up at night, but it will motivate the heck out of you and give you a lot of productive energy and verbal fluency and a good heightened mood to get work done and have a great day. I mean, Cortex just changes your day. It changes your brain. It enlivens your brain, but, it allows you to sleep as well. $31 at livecortex.com. Coupon code 5, FIVE, takes it down to $26 a bottle if you need a discount right now. Look, if you need my help on nootropics, we've got consulting packages. One is a 40-minute call with me, 15 follow-up email correspondences where we formulate 5 to 7 stacks for you, suggest them, and then you take them and experiment to get the doses perfect. If you're an executive or somebody that needs larger scale, continuous, comprehensive nootropics consulting to amp your brain up, to foster productivity, to really get you in the right place, to crush your to-do list, to take your venture-funded company to the next level. If you're a VC and you have a lot of work to do, this benefits you too. An executive in the C-suite with 20 things to do on the to-do list, this will benefit you too. We've got 2 packages. One is a 3.5-month package, unlimited calls, unlimited emails with me to work in and dial in stacks. In that process, we make you nootropic stacks and we ship them to you, and then work with you to refine them and keep shipping them to you until through the duration of the consulting program, which is 3.5 months. That's $2,200 at livecortex.com. That is a steal for those of you that can afford it. Find that on the homepage. If you need a little more larger comprehensive and you just want to go all out on it, we have a 6-month package, unlimited emails, unlimited calls with me, unlimited consulting throughout the entire time on nootropics. Custom stack formulation where we formulate the stacks and we mail them to you. You have to do nothing but just give us feedback and talk with me so we can figure out what's working and what isn't working. That is a powerful consulting service. 6 months. It's $4,800 right now at livecortex.com. Both of those packages come with 2 bottles of Cortex, all of our digital books, and the Viking Testosterone protocol, which is useful, obviously, if you're a man. And if you're a woman, we'll make something else available to you, too. We'll give you something also very useful kind of in its place. And that's it, guys. Thanks so much for listening. Go get all those products at livecortex.com. Remember, coupon code 5, FIVE, save you some money on everything, especially the Cortex stack at $31 right now. It takes it to $26. And we will talk to you very soon. More podcasts launching this week, so keep your eyes peeled. More videos launching on YouTube. Watch out for that. And like us on Facebook, please. Facebook.com/Cortex Stacks. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. Rock on. Talk to you next time.